And that is a wrap, as Hollyoaks has not necessarily announced, but it's been explained by the Sun. So, take this reporting with a, grain of salt. But fundamentally, the Sun is quite good at getting soap exits, and it can also be a good platform for said actor or actress who is leaving the show to get a bit more attention, kind of put their name back up in the media conversation, and all in all, get a little bit of press as a whole. So, and the title states, Hollyoaks legend to leave the show after 12 years and will film final scenes next month. Hollyoaks underwent a wave of departures by cast members last year, and now as one of the longest serving stars is stepping down. Nikki Sanderson, who played Maxine Miniver since she joined the Channel 4 series in 2012, told bosses that she's keen to step back at the end of her current contract. So there we are, that's Maxine. It means the actress, who featured in plotlines from domestic abuse to mental illness, will film her emotional scenes next month. Insiders revealed that Nikki, who's been dating Emmerdale actor Anthony Quinlan for 3 years, not sure why that's relevant other than the SEO, but the sun be sunning, had decided to move on to give herself more freedom to try other roles. A source told me she met with bosses and told them of her plans to leave. She just turned 40 and felt the time was right to say goodbye to Maxine. She's keen to explore other opportunities and excited to get back out there. Bosses have been plotting Maxine's exit storyline for months and have promised it'll be a fitting tribute to the character, and viewers can expect a lot of drama before she goes. This source added she will film her final scenes next month, which will go out on screen in May. So, with all that said, is the rest of it just a bunch of SEO stuff? So, honestly, the reception to this is pretty slim. Not many people really care for Maxine as a character, and a lot of people do generally suggest that maybe they should have just simply shelved the character after her relationship with Patrick, because at the end of the day, she's just had a pretty raw couple of years, not really had any big deal. She kind of just Maxine became a talisman for storylines that they wanted to give a strong, independent woman type character, but ultimately they never really wanted to develop her much more beyond that. So, I mean, yes, Maxine was great in the domestic abuse storyline between Maxine and Patrick. That was truly great stuff. She did a really good job, and we thought generally that storyline was great, and she did an impeccable job of doing so. But as I said before, beyond that point, Maxine isn't even the most popular Miniver. That will always and forever go to Mitzi, who is iconic and we all love. And considering she spent 13 years on the show, can you really list many of the intriguing storylines that she had? Not really. She was with Darren for a little bit, kind of. She had the domestic violence storyline. She gave birth to Minnie. She was friends with Scott. She tried to look after Patrick when he had motor neurone disease. That weird relationship with Warren, and then back and forth, being with Warren, not being with Warren. It's not all been great. And for someone, I mean, it's why I couldn't clickbait this video by saying Hollyoaks legend leaves, because Maxine she's not great, and she's never been anybody's favorite character. And at the end of the day, it's just not been it. It's not been it for Maxine. And when she survived the time jump, everybody's just kind of like, oh, this is great. Yeah, everybody's going to be fine. Everybody says this is going to be fine. She sat out the time jump. She was still here after the time jump. Initially saw her sharing some looks with Tony, and it's like, okay, is she with Tony now? Is that the new angle they're going to go? Because it's a big deal. It's a big, fairly big, long-winded story. And then it's like, no. And since the time jump, she just existed as like a substitute lawyer, essentially. She's been a sub-lawyer. And she was revealed to be in a relationship with Dodger, but Dodger appeared and then fucked off again. And she's been doing nothing ever since. She's been doing nothing so far. And like, it's not like she's been awful. She does a fine job. She's a good actress. She really is. It's just they never really knew what to do with the character beyond the initial storyline they intended to do. But she's still been there. So it's just, yeah, no one's really going to be too upset with this one. I know I've been repeating myself a lot, so I do apologize for that. It's just you're trying to scratch your head and try to figure out actually anything important or interesting that she's done on the show since that main storyline. The answer's none. Like, she has good chemistry with everyone. Good on her for having a contract for like 12 years. But yeah, they just never really fully invested in the character, and the character was never really invested in her. So, with that said, it's another Miniver down. She will be leaving. She'll be leaving, I believe it said around May. For emotional scenes next month, that will yeah, it'll go out on screen in May. So, you know, they will have like a good February, March, April, May, a good couple of months to get ahead and actually build it up. Because if they are building up as a big fitting tribute to the character, like maybe she will actually leave with a big story and won't end up dying to Jeremy Blake. You know what I mean? Because that kind of feels like the way that they're going to take these storylines as a whole. Anybody who's on the ropes is probably going to be killed off by Jez, and we just have to all accept that fact, because we do, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. And it's kind of a surprise, but still, at this point in time, if you are downsizing, which Hollyoaks has been pretty open about doing, you do want to get rid of a bunch of the bigger characters who probably still on a fairly high like paycheck. And, you know, Maxine, like Nikki Sanderson, tenured soap actress, been around for a long period of time. I mean, before she was on Hollyoaks, she was on Coronation Street for 6 years. Like, and honestly, maybe a bit bold, Coronation Street could easily do with her back, essentially. They could easily do with a older version of Candice. You know, give Sarah a friend again. I think it could be a pretty interesting way to re-establish the character. And, you know, with a bunch of people leaving and a bunch of people no longer being there, I think it would probably be a good move to go back. It would be a great time. And it's, like, you know, I mean, also in 2015, she said Tina's back on the cobbles, that being Tina O'Brien, who plays Sarah. Tina's back on the cobbles, bless her. Could they take me back on the cobbles? No, I'm loving it where I am in the moment. Well, simply saying she's not loving it where she's at in the moment. She wants to try different things. She could easily go back to Coronation Street. Coronation Street's currently losing out on a bunch of different characters, so maybe it's time for Candice to come back to Coronation Street and actually be established as a proper character with a family and an actual like purpose other than just being there. So, with all that said, I you know, fair play to Nikki Sanderson, who has done a great job in the role. I don't think the writing was ever really fully behind her, but all in all, not many fans are going to be too upset with the exit of Maxine. As, you know, after Mitzi gone, the Minivers, yeah, nah, I'm out. I'm out on that one. Like, Trish, awful character. So, yeah. There we are. What do you think? Are you going to miss Maxine? The answer's probably no. Not to be too disparaging. It's just like, as far as I can tell from her online presence, people aren't really a big fan of the character, and I've never been a big fan of the character either. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comment section. But Ash from Watching Walford. Sorry for a very rambly video, but, you know, had to stretch it to really say something about her. So yeah, see you in the next... Excuse me. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.